It's so hot today and I'm stuck here at work. I have an idea. How about I go ditch work, go to the Great Barrier Reef and have a snorkel?
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that did.
The Great Barrier Reef is one of the world's most extraordinary natural wonders. Did you know that this is the only natural wonder that you can see from space? The issues with sustainability in relation to the Great Barrier Reef is that it comes from different factors, particularly coral bleaching. Unfortunately, the natural wonder is vulnerable to climate change, meaning that once temperatures rise up to 30 degrees, this stresses out the coral, leading it to dislodge a chemical called zooxanthellae. This chemical is the one that gives coral its colour and energy, and once it dislodges the chemical, it eventually causes bleaching. Hi, we are lucky enough to have Professor Duncan from the University of New South Wales to come and talk to us about some of the things that we may not know about the Great Barrier Reef and what may happen in the future. So, Professor Duncan, what are the consequences of bleaching in the Great Barrier Reef? Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me. So pretty much, in the Great Barrier Reef, there are many different species that rely on the coral for the food and the shelter. So when the coral bleaching, occurs, that means that the species that rely, they don't get the nutrients and the energy that they need to survive. And so in some cases, even when the coral does survive the bleaching, they become weak. And when they become weak, that means they are more vulnerable. And that means the crown of thorns starfish and the dropella snails just end up eating them. So the consequences are very high in danger because of the coral bleaching. So, Professor Duncan, can you give us any real life statistics on the things that are going on today in the Great Barrier Reef and what can possibly happen now? So there was an incident in March of 2016 where the reef experienced temperatures greater than 30 degrees Celsius. And then when this happened, there was immediate coral bleaching and instant deaths for many of the coral and many of the species that rely on the coral. It's a fact that only 7% of the reef has actually not been touched by the coral bleaching. This means that the reef could be extinct by 2050. If we do not change the way we act, this will happen. This is real. We need to change our ways so that we will have a Great Barrier Reef by 2050. I think that to ensure the sustainability of the Great Barrier Reef, there are a few goals we have to think of. I have come up with 3 of these goals. The first goal is getting rid of the crown of thorns starfish. So there actually has been funding that has been provided to farmers and land managers to assist them to implement techniques to get rid of the starfish. The starfish are eating our coral and ruining the sustainability of the Great Barrier Reef, so we need to make sure we get rid of these. The second goal is enhancing protection of the dugong and the turtles in our Great Barrier Reef. So the Australian government actually has committed $5.3 million over 3 years for delivery of the Dugong and Turtle Protection Plan under the Reef 2050 Plan and Reef Trust. It pretty much is going to enhance their protection in the North Queensland and Torres Strait Islander region of the Great Barrier Reef, which is the most affected regions at the moment. And then my third goal is enhancing the ship safety and environmental protection. So the North East Shipping Management Plan sets out Australia's intention to enhance the ship safety and environmental protection, and it identifies measures to manage risks associated with shipping in the Great Barrier Reef, Coral Sea, and Torres Strait Islander regions. Thank you for watching my documentary. I hope you all enjoyed it and I hope you all got something out of it. This is pretty much just to explain to you the things that are going on in the Great Barrier Reef, the coral bleaching, and that climate change can affect what goes on in this world, and that we really need to make a stop and a change to it if we want to make sure that we do have this natural wonder by 2050. Thank you and goodbye.